Welcome back to Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. I am, as always, Chat Show. How the hell are you? We've been away for a couple of weeks. Last week I was off in Kansas City. I want to thank the great, wonderful people there. They raised over $1 million for the Children's Mercy Hospital. I was there with Paul Rudd, Rob Riggle, Jason Sudeikis, David Koechner, Eric Stonestreet, and a whole host of alleged celebrities, along with our very own Sam Levine.
That's where the alleged part comes in.
Last weekend, and yeah,
I have to zing him while he's
Did
not
you
here.
just zing your co-sidekick who's not here to defend himself? Is that what just happened? That's what we love about you. Now, the fact that it's going in and out on the screen up here, Kenny, that's not cause for concern, right?
Nope.
The show is still streaming live. I should just keep talking whether I can see myself or not. By the way, in my own home, I can see myself on 7 different screens throughout the house.
It's true.
All right. Sam Levine went to it was a Doug Benson show, Jamie. That's why Sammy's not here in Oklahoma City.
See that? I assumed correctly.
So Children's Mercy Hospital, I just wanted to finish that. We'd participated in this annual weekend. It was really great. It was a bowling tournament instead of a poker tournament. And I was the only schnook who brought his own shoes and ball in my own travel bag. And when I went
it wasn't a travel bag. It was your
bowling
bag.
Yeah, it was the bowling ball bag. But I had to go to each person and say, I'm horrible. My average is 105. Please don't think any of this.
And your first roll?
My first roll went right to the gutter. Yeah.
That's what happened.
It was fucking genius. Jamie, on the other hand, had her all-time high 2 nights ago when we were out with the Brian Doyle Murrays.
or Brian and Tina.
Brian and Tina. 164. Now, your average before that was what? 102?
My average right now, because of that, is 110.
Hello, Larry.
But my average before was about 100.
The startling part was out of 10 possible frames, 6 spares, 2 strikes, and only 2...
2 nines.
2 non-closed frames were both nines.
Yeah, but both nines. So.
We have 17 bowling fans. We just wanted to speak to them for just a moment.
Then I saw Phil Yoakum, our local pro shop owner, and my trainer, I guess.
Yeah.
As he was crossing Grandview yesterday, and I screamed, "Phil, I rolled a 164," and he gave me a nice Jed Nelson fist pump in the air. Simple Minds started playing. It was really bizarre.
Oh, I see. Movie references. Now, the favorite part, of course, of that bowling night, and Kenny will enjoy this. Jamie, on her 2 of the spares that she picked up,
there was one crazy
were
spare
nearly impossible. One of which was there were 5 pins, and they were spread from side to side and in the middle in a sporadic fashion. There was simply no way to get all of them.
Well, and a domino effect happening.
The bowling lord shone down, and after she picked all 5 for the spare, a total stranger to us from the lane next to us, who was clearly with the league, a taller African-American gentleman, well into his 60s, just quietly walked over and gave her a keychain that said
Bowler of the Week.
Bowler of the Week, and said, "This is for you." She walked right up out of nowhere.
I put it on my bowling bag next to my I'm a very good bowler pin that has a picture of a bear on it.
It was a Field of Dreams bowling moment. All right, subscribe to us on YouTube, you sons of bitches.
I have
wait, there's more. What?
Yes. We haven't been here for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But not this past week, but the week prior, on Wednesday night, I was out with Dr. Chen and J-Mac.
Yes.
And we were approached by, and I want to say hello to Valentina V.
Oh, yes.
Who is who's a big fan, and she approached us at the 3 of Clubs bar, because we were at a bar, shocking. And but no, she came out, she recognized me, and then then I was like, well, there's Kenny and J-Mac, and she was very sweet.
What's her name?
Valentina V.
Valentina V.
Yeah, she's often in the chat room. And then the next day, you and I were at Disneyland, and we were approached by, I believe his name was, I don't remember his full name, but his first name was David, and he accosted us in the line for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
It's true.
Which we waited for him afterwards, and we took a nice photo with him in Mr. Toad's car. So I wanted to say hello to them.
We like to acknowledge each and every one of our fans individually as we meet them.
Well, because there's only a handful.
There's only 17 worldwide. All right, so subscribe to us on YouTube. We've yet to make a push on this site for people to do that. So please tell everyone you've ever known to do that. We do have one other piece of business, and we're going to get to today's guest, who's an international film star of tremendous note, who I was fortunate enough to work with a couple of weeks ago. I told you all about the filming I did in New Orleans, and now there's potential proof that I was in fact there. But first I wanted to read this letter from an email from a writer. We encourage you to write to us at contact@kevinpollak'schatshow.com. This particular one had some shit to say about Sammy and our guest, John Carroll
Lynch.
Lynch, thank you.
Did you really just space on that?
I went to the Planet Zemo. Jason Levy writes, Dear Chat Show, I'm a big fan of the show and really enjoyed the most recent episode with John Carroll Lynch. However, I really didn't like the part when Sam brought up the TV show Fargo and Lynch spoiled the final episode. Regardless if it was a guess on his part, his statement was correct. I'm not saying it's Sam's fault. He did a wonderful job hosting Kevin's absence, who was missed. If any blame would be directed towards someone, it would be Mr. Lynch. He's an excellent actor, but this minor mention was very disappointing. Now excuse me while I go fuck myself. By the way, my t-shirt size is extra large. Best, Jason Levy, future Chat Show guest. First of all, the balls on this son of a bitch. Unparalleled. Seriously, you should go fuck yourself. If he guessed and spoiled the ending of a TV series, that would make him Nostradamus, I think. Double fuck yourself. And on the XL shirt, that's the trifecta of fuck yourself. All right. My first and only guest here today. My first guest. What? Went back in time to the
Is there a musical
first
act?
6 months where we had 2 guests. Yeah, please welcome international superstar Vinnie Jones, I believe. Is that right?
Dad's name, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so first things first, buried deep in the research is a little known to Americans fact that you hosted your own chat show. What the fuck?
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Just what the concept was, what are guys in England, where do they go, what do they talk about? So we set it up in a pub and talked about football, which is soccer, and women.
Right.
Men and motors and cars, yeah. So, yeah, it was okay. I won a nice little award for that.
Did you win a nice little award? How long did you do this show and how many
I
episodes?
did it for, probably 2 episodes.
2 episodes and they gave you an award.
Satellite awards, a satellite award. I don't know whether they wanted me to go to Mars or somewhere to get the fucking award, but yeah.
That's how popular you are. You only have to host 2 episodes and they give you an award.
No, 2 series.
I
series.
I see. All right. But you enjoyed it?
I did enjoy it because...
just you and your mates fucking off at a pub?
Well, I had all my mates there in the pub,
right.
Sort of backgrounders and just drinking and all that, and then I'd do what you do, call on a few mates and footballers and...
Call in favors?
That was before I was acting, so just footballers. And ex-cons.
Yeah.
A few ex-cons.
Well, also, why don't we dive the fuck in on your take on America's passion? We couldn't have been the first assholes to call it soccer. Where did that change from football, how it's known all throughout Europe? Is it the World Cup that calls it soccer, but it calls it football also?
I'm not sure where it comes from Australia, because you've got the Socceroos down there. So maybe it comes from Australia, but I mean, if I go home in the pub and mention soccer, I mean, you have to say soccer here, because people don't know what the fuck you're on about.
Yeah, which is embarrassing, quite frankly.
It is for me, but if you go home, people hammer you for it. I mean, you come under scrutiny.
What
do you think you are?
Yeah, I can't even imagine. When you were first, this is the most important question you'll be asked. When you were first told that it was me you'd be working with in New Orleans this past April, did you shit yourself or just pee your pants just a little? Which of those 2? Did you even know who I was when they told you I was in the movie? Not really.
I knew you'd worked with Joe Pesci because I was playing golf with Joe Pesci, and I know you do him. You do him very well. You impersonate him very well.
He doesn't like it.
But I then, when we were filming, I had a break and I went back to LA, and then I just so happened to play golf at Lakeside with Joe, and I said, "Do you know Kevin Pollak?" He was like, "No, not really." I go, he's a little geezer, a little Jewish geezer that was in that Usual Suspects thing, and then he was Casino with you. He went,
geezer.
I don't think he worked with me. I said, no, you probably never had no scenes. I said, well, do you know he impersonates you on his show and all that? And I don't think I can tell you what he said about it. Oh, that little prick trying to get an upper just on my name. So, yeah, he's not your best. He's probably not tuning in to this, put it that way.
Yeah, well, if you want, Joe, go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Now you sound like that actor in Jersey Boys doing Joe Pesci.
Oh, God. What was your favorite part of the filming in New Orleans? Going home or golfing?
Seeing it in the rearview mirror, going to the airport, yeah.
Is that your first time shooting there?
No, I'd done Escape Plan there with Stallone and Schwarzenegger. I've done probably 2 or 3 in Baton Rouge.
Right.
Or I've done Freelancers. Mm-hmm. That was in New Orleans. Fire with Fire, Bruce Willis. I've done plenty down there because they're getting these tax breaks, so you know, and it's not a bad little trip if you get the non-stop down there. It's not bad.
Yeah.
4 hours.
What was the Bruce Willis one? Fire by Fire? Do I know
something
this movie?
like that. Yeah.
Look up.
Josh Duhamel.
Huh? Has it come out yet?
Yeah. Just like some of your movies. Go on. No, that one. Yeah.
Look up Bruce Willis, Fire by Fire, Josh Duhamel.
Fire with Fire.
Fire
Josh
with
Duhamel.
Fire.
Rosario Dawson.
And how did I never hear of a Bruce Willis movie? That now things are really fucked.
There you go. Comes in for a week, gets his paycheck and his red wine, and gets on the private jet and goes back to LA. That movie.
Oh, that one. While we were there, though, you got incredible news that this TV pilot you had done by the great writer who did Tangled,
Dan Fogelman.
Dan Fogelman was picked up to a series which, oddly or not, will be shooting in Wales?
In Bristol and in Wales in England, yeah.
That was the truly remarkable thing. How many TV pilots had you done prior to that in America? None? A couple?
I did one in Chicago that never got picked up. I did another one that did get picked up, but on the 10th episode, there was a strange situation on set, and I haven't done much TV, and there was a strange atmosphere this day at lunchtime. Anyway, we got called together for a meeting after lunch.
The cast?
All the cast, all the crew. And the producer came out and said, well, here we are, today will be your last day filming. Literally, boom, finished. The Cape, that was called The Cape.
Oh, The Cape, right, you were added to that, according to the research.
Added?
Yeah, that's what the
research
research
I think it was built round me, Kev. Yeah. Don't start that crap.
Were you wearing the cape?
I wasn't the cape, but I wore it a couple of times.
Were you a villain?
I played Scales, but the worst thing about it was...
Scales, that's right.
Yeah, I actually... somebody came up with this brainwave that they'd seen this Nike advert, and one of the guys was like all honeycomb.
Right.
In the Nike commercial. So when the writer did the cape, he came up with this honeycomb, which is brilliant. It sounds great, but then when you're sitting on your ass for 5 hours having honeycomb on you and stuck on you in your arms, and it sort of wears a bit thin. So I sort of upset the apple cart when I gave a big cheer after lunch at this meeting, and everybody else were crying, thinking, how are we gonna pay our mortgage? And I went, yes!
And the show is cancelled, and you celebrated as if you'd won another FA Cup.
Yeah, I wanted off that show.
Oh, fuck.
I loved the show, the concept, and everything, but 2 things, and you know how many millions of dollars go into these things, and I just don't know where they come from. You know, for me, it was a kid's show, and they put it on 10 o'clock on a Monday night.
Right. Right.
It's about magic and illusions.
Yeah.
You know, to people in the Midwest, 10 o'clock after the football game, they didn't give a shit.
Nah.
And it bombed. I think in the right spot, it would have done well, that.
Yeah. Mm. This new one, though, the premise, as you explained it to me, sounds incredibly fantastic, because it's kind of like Princess Bride a little, also a little Monty Python, the Holy Grail.
Yep, exactly that. And
but it's played as a drama, or no? It's played straight.
No, it's played. If anything, it's played camp a little bit. Okay. A little bit, I would say. You know, and just silliness.
Right.
You know, there's a story, great story. Dan Fogelman, you know.
Great writer.
Yeah, I mean, he done Tangled and Cars, and he just did Las Vegas.
Right.
That was him.
Oh, my mother's favorite movie.
Your mother's favorite movie.
Yeah.
Everyone's mother's favorite movie. Because you got the old geezers going to Vegas.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You should have been in that.
Yeah.
You could have just been. You could have been De Niro mugging the entire time. That's all he did. There
You have a good time, Bob?
Yeah.
That's.
So tell us a little bit more about the show. It's going to be on.
It'll be on in January, 8 o'clock Sunday nights.
Okay.
So I'm actually off in 3 weeks' time to do the next 10. We did the pilot.
Right.
And as you say, we was in New Orleans at the time, and I was waiting for the call, and then finally.
That's a horrible feeling, by the way. Let's try to describe the feeling of that of the not knowing when you do want it to go. Unlike the Cape with the 5 hours of prosthetic.
It's sort of having a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
And now you've got to get from home to the newsagents to cash that lottery ticket.
That's right.
And you could lose it on the way. That is basically what it is. You've done a great show. Everybody's just for the viewers.
Yeah.
They do like a buyer's market. We all had to go to Disney, so all the shows that they did the pilots for, like this year, pilot season, and the stuff that they're bringing back from last season.
Right.
You literally go to Disney in the car park lot there, and they carpet it and put bars and restaurants and all that, and it's beautiful. And you all have your own little booths with the name of your show. Now all these buyers from Hong Kong, Pakistan, England, Wales, Jamaica, they come round all these stalls to meet the cast, and they're deciding whether they want to buy this show for their country, because they show them the show over that 4 days. So basically these people are going along, right, I'm the buyer for, say, Brazil. English TV.
Right.
Let's say, I now, over the 4 days, will watch all these pilots and decide whether I want that for my country. So basically we're stood there, we're kissing arse for.
This is after the show's picked up.
This is after it's picked up, yeah.
And how long ago was this? Moroccan Bazaar?
It was about
a couple weeks, 3?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, probably a month ago.
How many shows were in tents at the parking lot?
Well, what
stands?
There was, Lawrence Fishburne had his show, and all these different people, and quite impressive the way it's all done.
Yeah.
But
still.
Yeah, it's basically a flea market for TV shows, really, and we're the sellers. We have to, how are you, and pose for the pictures and all that. So. Yeah, so you do that, and then.
How many from your cast were able to show up for that?
We all have to.
And are they international, this cast, or are they all in America?
There's an Australian girl.
Right.
There's the King, Tim Olmanson, who was in Psych. He plays the King. I play his henchman, right-hand man, and then a couple of. You've got Josh Sass, who was in Neighbours. He plays Gallivant. So Gallivant's all washed up. He's like the knight in shining armour. He's all washed up, and the king and they come to him to try and go and rescue Madalena, and the King's already married her, and I go and kidnap the Queen to get married, and it's the funny scenes, like we're at the altar there and they're getting married, and the King says to me, Gareth, what's going to happen if Gallivant turns up? And I go, don't worry, I'll take care of him. I mean, that's the least of your worries, just get married and all that. Says, do you think she really likes me? I go, no. He goes, why not? I said, well, we had to kidnap her so you could marry her. Oh yes, of course. And then of course at the wedding, Gallivant shows up and he says, I know that I'm the love of her life and you can take all your fame and fortune. Then it goes, what? And she goes, actually, I've been thinking about it. I'm going to go for the fame and fortune. So it's that sort of comedy.
Right. But you play like his right hand, but also you sort of run his army, or I mean, he's sort of such a Ponce.
Yeah, messed up. He's such, I have to try and teach him to sword fight. He's useless at everything. So basically, I'm running everything for him.
Right.
He thinks he is, and then I have to pick up all the pieces.
Right.
That kind of thing.
By the way, if Joe Pesci ever sees this, that was my role in the movie Casino, you fuck you.
Yeah.
How many days, weeks did it take to shoot this pilot? Because it sounds gigantic, this show.
Well, yeah.
I'm talking real castles, real locations.
We had real. Your viewers can watch it on YouTube. Gallivant. There's about a 3-minute trailer, the actual trailer, but it's so great with the horse riding and the great big castles. We did all the outside work there. We actually filmed in the castles. You know, you can't believe how. I mean, nice day outside, going to castle, freezing cold.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
absolutely freezing. And then we done some stuff in the studios in Bristol.
Right.
But Alan Menken, who is like a 9-time or
Academy Award
he'll
winning.
kick me in the ass for getting it wrong, but
Grammy Award
Oscar
winning.
winner.
Yeah.
You know, 9 or 13 or he's got or something. Anyway, there's 2 songs in each episode, and he writes both songs.
Oh, jeez.
You know, and it's all funny lyrics.
Alan Menken, look him up. He did big, huge musicals on Broadway and also films. Oscars.
He's as big as they get.
He's as big as they get.
Yeah, I mean, I brought up a friend of mine in England who's a big composer. You know, does all the theatres and everybody. Andrew Lloyd Webber, and he spat out his coffee. Don't mention his name.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you got?
He only wrote arguably the most popular Disney movie of all time, The Little Mermaid. is arguably the most.
He's that Alan Menken.
Yeah, he's that.
So far, the former leader of the Hard Men, as a footballer, has whinged here about prosthetics in the morning and the castle's too cold. You've come a long way from the FA Cup final, my friend. But I do want to know, so fucking much was made of the photograph in 1987 on the field of play, taking a firm grip of your opponent's nutsack, becoming the sports moment of the year, frozen in time, and it'll never go away. But I loved at one interview you said he was laughing until the final moment of the grip, but he thought it was hilarious and that you were fucking with him. And then it ends up being, to the outsider, what appears to basically launch a star in you.
Well, he was an upcoming star. I mean, if you take a young LeBron, a young Kobe Bryant, a young Georgie Best, a young Pele, this was Gaza.
Yeah.
That was how big this kid was. And I think he's about 2 years younger than me. And I hadn't been on the scene very long as well. I mean, 86,
I think, only.
Yeah, this was 87, and I signed pro forms in 86. So
yeah.
I basically came from construction. I was working on a building site to getting my chance as a pro signing, and now we play this game, and I'd got red carded before. So in England, you get, for a straight red, you get 3-game ban. In that 3-game ban, our team went up to Newcastle, who we played for at the time, and they came back. And normally Monday morning you get on with training, you know, whatever. And all the boys came back and they were just talking about this Paul Gascoigne, this Gaza, how unbelievable this kid is. I think he was 18, 19, just a wonder kid. So, but lo and behold, we get drawn in the cup game against them. In England we have the league that goes through, the Premier League goes through, but we also have a knockout cup, a little bit like the World Cup now, which you play is completely separate, which is sort of our Super Bowl,
right,
in football.
Right.
So one of
the highest honor for British football, you'd say?
Yeah, at club level.
Right.
At club level. So like if the Lakers won it, it would be the same as the Lakers winning the,
right.
And the same as, you know, the Dodgers winning the World Series, which hopefully this year they will. But
fuck
I know,
them.
Yeah, I know we're not going to see eye to eye on that. We've already had this conversation in your lanes. But yeah, so it's the highest accolade. So as a player,
you've only been at it a year. This guy's 19, and
he'd just come in that year as well,
and he's being touted as the biggest thing alive. So my question was, is any of this premeditated? Is there any part of you, not that you're going to grab him in the nuts, but there's any part of you that says, I'm going to show this kid?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. What happened was, we always train that week with the team we're playing at the end of the week in regard. So we say, right, this is how they play, this is how we're going to play against them. Oh, and by the way, they got this guy called Gaza, who's a wonder kid, and the coach says to me, Vinny, you'll mark him man to man. Wherever he goes, you'll go, basically.
That's all you needed to hear.
Lovely.
By the way, Josh, see if you can pull up that photo. Just type in Vinnie Jones Gaza FA Cup.
So,
give me that photo.
So we practiced this with the reserve team. So it's the first team, the A team against the reserve team. So they said to this lad, right, you pretend you're Gazza and you go where you want to get the ball. Well, this kid was running the show. You know, he's a reserve team player, and all the lads are sort of a bit sniggering and laughing and going it. So then the coach comes at me and we have this massive confrontation, a big scream up, and I go fuck yourself, get someone else to do it then. You know, I'm not just running after another player for 90 minutes.
Right.
That was that, big bust up, everything else. Come to the game, we go out for the warm-up, and there's kids, girls, I mean, running on. He comes out for the warm-up. They're coming out with flowers and roses, which doesn't really happen.
Ever.
You know, no, I mean, Tom Jones, bra and knickers, as we know, we went to see him.
Still getting panties thrown
Still
on the
getting,
stage.
we can prove it.
At 74,
Yeah.
the panties hit that stage at the House of Blues.
But this, you know, they were all coming on. He was like a god, this kid.
At 19, only been out of the year. Not even.
Yeah, just come into it.
Holy
18
fuck.
might have been. So I just looked round and I thought, all right, I'll have some of you today, son. And that was it. I'd got the bit between the teeth. I didn't want to, you know, there was I don't know, 20, 30,000 in the stadium, and I just thought, I can't get embarrassed here. So literally I started the game, I'm chasing him, and I went for a throw and I said, you wait there, fatty, I'll be back for you in a minute. I take the throw and run back to him, he's not touching the ball. And now he's like looking at his own players like, he's a fucking lunatic, you know, because I wouldn't go away from him. And then there was a free kick.
And are you talking, as they say here in America?
Talking shit.
Are you talking
Yeah.
smack at this guy the whole game?
Well, I'm completely gone. I'm in psycho mode. He's now like, and I'm growling and everything, you know. I've got an hour and a half to sort this out. So anyway, there's a free kick, he's standing behind me, and now he's talking shit. And I just went, he's talking about,
yeah, what is
you getting extra pay for this or something, or, you know, because we were known as the low ballers in the league.
Right.
We'd come from nowhere. We weren't 50,000 a week at Wimbledon. Where they're playing the tennis, that's where I was at the time, Wimbledon.
Right.
So I just went smash.
And you were...
And I just got him by the balls.
As it turns out, you got lucky at your first reach.
Yeah.
And there just happened to be a photographer.
Well, no, what had happened, it had gone unnoticed. No one had knew. I got him, and then...
In the moment, during the game, nobody knew.
No one knew. No one knew. And
Just the two of you.
Yeah, and I never thought nothing of it. We end up... Obviously, there's loads of stories that come out afterwards. Right. I mean, I know a couple of players since then. I got to know him, and they said he came in and burst into tears at half-time. And like he was shaking, they had to console him, and they were going to bring him off.
Because you had grabbed him?
Because I was intimidating him.
You got in his head.
Yeah, I got into his head, and then so because he didn't know who I was, because I'd literally, you know.
Right.
You know, I didn't have football stickers at that stage of me and all that. I'd come straight off the building and say, who's this lunatic? You know what I mean?
Yeah. They sent a monster to go after him, and he didn't understand why.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I had to do a job for the team.
Yeah.
So anyway, after the game, he sent in a rose into our dressing room. And as the security guy comes in and says, oh, Vinny, this is from Gaza. And I said, hold on a minute. I ran out to the toilet, got the bog brush cleaner, and I said, give him that from me. He's been swept off the fucking pitch. See you later. But then that was it. Never thought no more of it, Kev. And then I got up the next day, Sunday morning, our day off. I go to the pub. And I always stop on the little corner shop. And Mr. Patel's there in his corner shop. And as I go to walk in, I look, you know the boards where they sell the papers, what's on. And there's a picture of me in this Gaza. This is the first I knew about it. And I walk in, and on Mr. Patel's, he said, oh, Vinny, mate, you did it this time. And I went, oh, what? He said, not only the back page, the fucking front page. First time ever, front and back page of the News of the World.
Put that photo up. I'm sure you knuckleheads have found it by now. I've only given you 7 minutes.
So then, obviously, the aftermath of that.
Was giving us a trouble.
That was the aftermath of that, and it sort of, made it, and then it just went berserk, the media and everything went berserk about it. And one guy, Monty Fresco, who's a very, very old photographer, and I said to him after, I said, Monty, how did you get that? And he said, I just heard you when you went to take that throw and say, wait there, fat boy, I'll be back for you in a minute. And he said, I'm not going to take the cap, something's going to happen here. And he was about 65, 70, an old geezer that had been around it all, seen it, done the World Cup in '66 when England won the World Cup. That's how far back. And it just is intuition, and he knew, and he got it. But he was working for the newspaper. If he was freelancing, he would have made millions out of it.
Yeah.
Because that picture, football picture, soccer picture, was the first one that ever made Sports Illustrated in America.
In America.
Yeah.
No, that's what I meant by it sort of felt like a star was born. And it's great to know that it was just a moment in time that this great photojournalist knew, had an instinct to catch.
Yeah, it was all him, and his son now, he passed away about a year ago, Monty Fresco, and there were, he was a legend in Fleet Street, where, as a photographer, as a newspaper photographer, he's a legend.
Right.
And his boy now is a photographer, and they've done this great big thing, and then, I mean, he's done everything, this guy.
Yeah.
But he's still known for the Vinnie Gaza picture.
But I'm trying to like it to an American sports photograph that becomes bigger than the actual event. The photograph itself then takes on a life of its own.
Well, I would say now with the internet, there's not many weeks that go by, to be honest, where somebody publishes that picture.
Yeah.
Today, and that was '87, so
yeah,
do the math, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to. I think it's 27 years.
And because he worked for the newspaper, they owned the picture.
That's right.
He never owned it.
Yeah.
Which was a shame.
That's the lousy part.
Yeah.
And how do things change for you? Because by the next year, '88, your team, a huge underdog, wins the FA Cup.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's like the Super Bowl, and that was the last time.
But you're like 23 years old. You're a kid.
Yeah, but I mean, I was sort
You'd only been at it 2 years.
I was still on the roller coaster, Kev, because it was like pinching yourself. I mean,
2 years you're playing.
Am I in a dream here? Because it happened so quick.
Right.
It wasn't even 2 years. It was like 18 months.
Yeah.
And now I was playing. Previously, just before I signed, I went to Wembley to a cup final to watch my home team, which is Watford.
Right.
My arse hanging out my jeans. I got a ticket through a friend of a friend of a friend. And I was stood on the terraces watching my team, and it was just incredible that 2 years later I was actually out there. 100,000 people.
For the FA Cup final?
Yeah, probably, I don't know, whatever it was, 3 billion around the world or whatever it is, something crazy.
Right.
And it's very hard to take in.
Well, speaking of crazy, is the crazy gang born from that time, that term?
Yeah.
Crazy gang versus...
The Culture Club.
The Culture Club.
Because it was Liverpool at the time, and Liverpool at that time were the Man United of now, the Chelsea of now. They were unbeatable. They were winning everything. No one could touch them. And basically, that cup final, we didn't want to be, which everybody said it was going to be 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. It's going to be the biggest walkover of all time. We didn't want to be those guys.
Right.
The biggest clowns of the FA Cup.
Right.
And yeah, we were still I think to this day we still are the biggest underdogs in a in a 2-match race. And we beat them 1-0, and we.
And you, I think, were quoted as saying we're going to rip off their head and crap in the hole, or something to that effect.
I said to one of their players,
yeah,
when this is finished, when I go up there and get my medal, I'm going to rip your head off and shit in the hole.
It reminded me when a young Broadway Joe Namath in 1969, playing for the Jets, a young punk in a fur coat, went in the Super Bowl against the unbeatable Baltimore Colts, and who were favored wildly to destroy the Jets. And Joe Namath said in the press before the game he was guaranteeing a victory. And it was laughable, their chances. And they
Well, we
devastated them.
We went to our dressing room, and this is the National Stadium. Wembley is where where England play. It's where they played the World Cup in '66.
100,000.
That was the last time ever there was 100,000, because after that they changed it to all-seater stadium. So now it's only 80,000. So that was a bit of a landmark for us.
For the whole game.
100,000 people. But when we went in there, the coach and the staff had put all the newspaper clippings up of how much we were going to get beat by, and that we shouldn't be on the same pitch as some of these players. And then we came out, because I used to always have a great big getter blaster wherever we went, and we'd have it pumping in the changing room before the game. And when the doors flew out...
Any particular song?
It used to be all ghetto stuff, high pumping stuff, and this is why they called us the Crazy Gang, because you're not allowed to do that, I mean, this is Wembley, old boy, and Lady Di gave us the medal. Lady Diana
Holy shit.
was the guest of honour, and she actually gave me my medal that day. Yeah. So us playing all the, disco, ghetto, boom, boom. But when the doors flew open, they were already in the tunnel lined up all nicely, all the side partings and all the rest of it ready to go out. The doors fly open and out come 11 lunatics.
Yeah, the Crazy Gang.
Screaming and shouting. Well, we wanted to kill them there and then in the tunnel.
Right.
We were just so hyped up. And when we went out, we just never stopped running. We all had a job to do. They had a great player called John Barnes, scored a great goal, took on about 5 guys and smashed it in the top corner against Brazil a few years before. He was an awesome player. And my mate, little Dennis Wise, played for Chelsea for 10 years. He done a marking job on him. They had a penalty kick. So many things happened. Penalty kick, the first one in the history of the FA Cup, our goalkeeper saves it.
What?
First one in like 100 years, a penalty kick has ever been missed, and our goalkeeper saves it.
So that's already 1 in a billion fluke.
Yeah. And then their hard man, their big hard man, it was me and him, and it was all in the papers leading up for 2 weeks.
Which one of you was going to kill the other one?
Yeah, and I smashed him after about 17 minutes, and literally cartwheeled, came down, crash, bang. And what I said to the boy, I'm going to smash him early, because the referee then is in a position, does he red card me, does he yellow card me, in front of 100,000 early in the game, and everybody says that tackle won the FA Cup. That tackle won the game.
Because you did not get red carded.
I smashed him, and he was their big tough guy. I absolutely smashed him. And the rest of their players went,
You can't do that.
And I got up like a warrior, come on, and my boys were 10 foot tall,
Yes, I do know. So, all right, let's jump. A lot of the history as a footballer from that moment till the moment that I want to discuss next is chronicled in one of your books or both of your books? You talk about
2 of them.
2 of them, yeah. But we were sitting having a steak at Morton's, because that's where Vinnie wanted to eat in New Orleans. He wanted to go to Morton's at the mall. We're arguably the best food in the world in New Orleans. And we went to a steakhouse at a mall. You son of a bitch.
Well, you like all this
fancy shit.
Fancy shit. Where did we go? Some place where you asked for lettuce wedge. I mean, what geezer does lettuce wedge? And can I have extra cheese? Extra crumbled blue cheese. What a tosser.
This is what he does, because he fools himself by getting that lettuce wedge, and then he'll go and eat like a piece of chocolate cake the size of his head. That's what
but you told the story of efforts made by Jared Bruckheimer to bring you to American films. But prior to that, Guy Ritchie decides he wants you to be in Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels. How out of left field was that? Had you had any interactions with Guy Ritchie prior to that? Any conversations? Did this phone call literally come out of the blue? How did they even reach you? You're not looking to be in movies. You're
no. I mean, I'd
You're a famous athlete.
You know, I was being tipped because I was captain of, you know, I played in a couple of World Cup qualifiers to get into the finals, a couple of European Championships with Wales, and everybody was tipping me to be a great coach, great manager. So that's where I was leading.
That's where you were headed.
That was it, you know.
And that's a hell of a life, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you know, that was my ambition, you know, that was my dream.
Right.
And then, because I'd been in a lot of trouble, you know, I was like the Dennis Rodman, but you know, not the now Dennis Rodman with the Japan stuff and the Korean stuff, not that.
Yeah.
I was just getting myself in trouble all the time, you know, with red cards and fights and bar fights.
Oh, there's plenty of videos on
there's quite
YouTube.
a few. There's quite a few.
Yeah.
And so I was in the news, I was in the newspapers for all the wrong things. When Guy Ritchie sat down and wrote Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, unbeknown to me, he'd put Big Chris, blah, 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 and at the bottom in brackets, which I've still got at home, it will remind you of the footballer Vinnie Jones. We'd never met, he was 30-something, Guy was. And so Matthew Vaughan, who's now a great director, a great producer, he directed Stardust and Kick-Ass and stuff. Them two became like partners and said, oh, we'll get this script made and so and so. They tried to get it made, they got the cast together and it fell apart. Second time round, which I didn't know, my manager, my football manager, soccer manager, gets a call. There's these two young lads, they've got this script, they want to meet you, would you do a cameo role for them in this British gangster movie? So I'm sure we'll go and meet them, and we met at Stoke Poges Golf Club, which is where, in James Bond, where Oddjob throws the bowler hat, and it cuts the head off the statue, remember that?
Yeah, of course.
So that's where we met.
Nice Gorham Brothers hat, by the way.
Yeah, nice little shout there, Gorham Brothers. 2 free hats, please. And
in my case, 48.
I went to the one in New Orleans, by the way, after you left. Brought a load, yeah. Anyway, so where was we? Yeah, so
The golf.
Yeah, so we meet there, and then they said, "Oh, we want to take you shooting because they got a firing range and blah blah blah." So this was it. So we turned up there, had a bit of lunch, and yeah, you know, it's a couple of scenes, it's this, that, and the other. So, and that was it. Don't hear a thing. Okay, boys.
But what does that do for you in terms of planting a seed in your mind? Does it still just seem like a one-off? I'll do this one.
No, because
thing.
I was at that time, Kev. I was doing all the chat shows and stuff.
Right.
You know,
you were a celebrity. Let's be clear.
I was earning as much outside the game as I was in the game.
Right.
At that time, you know, with endorsements and TV shows and.
Yeah.
But it was not film or anything. It was just interviews.
Right. Didn't ask
you know,
for
the
you to
biggest
be an
show.
Actor.
Huh?
They didn't ask for you to be an actor yet.
I wasn't an actor. No, I wasn't an actor. No. Right. But I'd be on there, and you know, they say, "Oh, the Gaza picture, the this, the that." You know, why did you get in trouble for this again? What was going through your head? This, you know. So you know, like I'd done the WWE when it came to London. I was the main attraction at that. You know, this sort of thing. You know. Everything but pantomime. I refuse to do pantomime. So yeah, so you know, I mean, it just then all of a sudden came about that we're starting the film, Lock,
right.
Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Here's your start date. It was a Tuesday morning. Can you make it? Yeah. No problem. 2 days work, bang, bang, in and out. Yes, Harry, no Harry, out the door, smash a geezer in the car door, smash a geezer in the sunroof, off home down the pub with the boys, game of poker, lovely. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Go back to my real job of, I was at this stage just looking to get into coaching.
Right.
As a coach. So I didn't make my first day, Kev, because I was locked up in jail. My first day.
On the film?
My first day, I'd had an altercation.
Sure. The night before.
Yeah. And I was in jail.
Do you remember what the altercation was?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not important.
No. Anyway, so I was in jail. couldn't tell no one, couldn't.
Are you allowed one phone call there?
Yeah, but that was to my manager at the time.
Well, part of which was make sure Guy Ritchie knows I'm going to be a little.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I didn't even give a shit about that. I mean, you know, this little movie, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't really, that didn't come into it.
Somehow word got to Guy Ritchie, though.
He did. Lo and behold, he comes down, he bails me out of the jail. I come home. We're all at home with our heads in our hands going, you fucking done it this time, which we used to say every time, but we'd get over it. But, oh, by the way, I rung that director geezer and the producer guy, and they're going to stand by you. They've rescheduled you.
Wow.
Because you stood by them and said you'd do the movie, they're going to stand by you.
Pretty good.
Now, all I had that day was, I had like a $1 million contract with Bacardi, Nike, whatever it was. The contracts were coming through the chimney, straight into the shitter. While we were sitting there at my kitchen table like this.
Yeah.
The only good news we got was that the boys would shoot my scenes the following week.
Yeah.
These two guys were Guy Ritchie and Matthew Vaughn. So at that time, it was a great time because we had the card scene in Lock, Stock. So he wanted to get the actors used to playing cards and that. So basically we got the actors, Jason Statham, Jason Fleming, Guy, Matthew, and then they started, beforehand, they started coming to watch me play football. So if we were at home, they'd come, I'd get them in the players out. No one knew who they were, you know, whatever. So then the movie gets done. What are you lot doing? Oh yeah, we're making a movie. You know, and the guys, you know, in the dressing room, what's Vin in it?
Yeah.
No, I'm not in it. You know, I really did sort of not want it to, you know, to be had the piss taken out of me, basically.
Yeah, for real though.
And the movie, all I kept saying was, is there going to be a premiere? Is there going to be a premiere? You know, good
Sure.
night out.
Because you've seen the pictures.
Oh yeah, I was getting, yeah, of course there is.
No.
It's $1 million movie.
Right.
So what's he on about? You know. But anyway, so we do the movie. I don't tell no one. I'm training in the morning. Do a few days, train in the morning, go straight down into London, Brick Lane and that, do the film until 3, 4 in the morning, get home, go training the next day. We've done about 3 or 4 days. That's it, I don't hear no more. So everything's fine. End of the football season, Guy Ritchie calls up and says, we've screened. Now all this is absolutely foreign to me, all this, you know, screening the movie. All I know is premiere of a movie. That's it, all I know about movies.
Right.
So, you know, lots of free booze.
Sure.
Premiere, free booze and vol au vents. With shitty cheese in and mushrooms. And so they screened it and there was a girl in there, Laura Bailey, who was, she was, probably still is, but she was a model. Fantastic girl, lovely, lovely girl. She was in the movie as quite a strong character in it. She never tested well in it. So what he said was he's got to cut her out, and in the fill-in bits, would I come in the close season of the football and do 3 weeks?
To make your character.
He loved what I did. Would I come in and do, you know, some extra filming?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. This, that and the other, you know. And this was, I never had there was no contract, there was no wages, there was no nothing.
Wow.
Just like, yeah, good old boys, we're making a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then next thing, they needed some extra money. The number out there was 300 grand, that's what I hear.
That they needed to finish the film?
Finish it and get it all done. None of the actors or anybody knew that. Anyway, that's when Trudy Styler stepped in. Apparently, this is only with Sting, and said, you know, we'll come in, we'll finance it, you know.
Right. That's how Sting, his name got.
Sting wants to be in the movie. The actual scene I'm in with Sting, he's there going to me. I wasn't even there, I was running around the football pitch.
Is that right?
And then when I come in, I go,
yeah.
and I walk over and do the big scene with the lads. he was at Brixton Academy on his guitar. So that scene, me and Sting weren't working together. But anyway, we do the scene, everything else. Same thing, then all goes quiet. Next thing, we're having a screening for the cast and crew. We go to London, this, that, and that. All of a sudden.
And you said, is this the premiere? And they said no.
No, they said it was.
Did they?
Bastards, yeah. One token for one beer. Yeah, some premiere. So anyway, that was it. Never heard much about it. Then it started getting louder, and the volume of the movie got louder and louder, and now all of a sudden, it's gone fucking nuts.
In the UK?
London. In London.
Because when that happened here, I assumed that it had already happened in the UK. The slow build.
It was UK.
Because the build here was enormous.
Yeah, but it's like anything. Anything that comes out of nowhere,
right,
that is an immediate success with people that you've never heard of him,
took forever.
That is just fucking bait for Jerry Bruckheimers of this world, the Joel Silvers, the big Hollywood, but they just go, whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
Because they want you while you're still a virgin, if you like, you know what I mean?
Sure, I do.
You know, an unknown,
yeah.
I found Guy Ritchie, I found so-and-so, you know?
Yeah.
So basically, Lock, Stock started getting momentum in England. The press were against it at first.
Were they?
The critics.
What were they saying?
Just, fucking, and this is what we always wanted to get away from.
Too original?
No. A movie with Vinnie Jones in it, it was all at me. Oh, this is going to be a fucking classic. Watching him go, you know what I mean? It really was.
Wow.
And we didn't, and I'd said this to the boys very honestly and very openly. I said, boys, if I'm going to affect this movie,
right,
because I know they're going to hammer me, because that's, you know.
Thinks he's an actor.
Yeah, now, go and fuck off out of football, thank God. You know, go and do some acting and fuck off.
Anything to get rid of you.
Yeah, and so I actually sat down with Guy and Matthew and said, listen, if it's going to affect this movie, just cut me out of it. Just leave me out of it. Go for it, you know what I mean?
And they said, fuck that.
Yeah, we're in it together, you know.
And they also knew that you were great in the movie. I mean,
well, Guy did, I didn't.
Of course you didn't.
No, I didn't have a fucking Scooby-Doo about it. But and then all of a sudden there was this awards. Another
award.
I'm all about the awards. So yeah, then it was big awards for the Empire magazine and all the rest of it, the British film and all the rest of it of that year.
And you were all basically heralded as best newcomers.
We were up for all the newcomer parts.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie, best.
And got most of them.
But yeah, we'll sweep the board. And then when you go in, I nearly never went. I mean, it was so fucking bizarre. You know, Matthew Vaughan had to call me. He said, "This is serious shit, Vin."
Yeah.
You know. I'm going. Yeah. What do we get? One voucher again for that other beer we didn't drink? So anyway, we went up there and it was a big do. You know, the Dorchester and you know, and there's. No, Ray Winston was always an idol of mine, watching him way back when I was a kid in a movie called Scum. He was in a Borstal, Ray Winston, so Ray Winston was up for something, Michael Caine was up for something, and all of a sudden, fucking shoulders are getting a bit looser here, hold on son. So, you know, Richard Harris, fucking people like this, and they're away because although I was in their world, I was forgetting that I was sort of a big star in the sports world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You felt like a newcomer.
Yeah, I was sort of keeping my head down a bit, you know what I mean?
In this new brave world.
Because I knew
they all knew you.
Because I had that, I mean, later on in years, Sean Connery walked past me at the golf course, he went, "Here, doing a bit of acting now." And I went, and he just turned and fucking walked off. And I was just about to go, and that was after Snatch, I went, and he carried on walking. But, yeah, that's how I looked at it. I just thought, oh, I'm going to get fucking hammered again here.
Yeah.
You know. But the arseholes that started off hammering us before anybody had seen it, when the movie came out, everybody went bonkers. All these arseholes
turned,
poked their heads back in their fucking shell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it went nuts, and I can remember I was with Jason Statham, Guy, and Matthew. And it was the opening night, it was the Friday night in Leicester Square. And the boys phoned up and said, let's go around the cinemas and see how many fucking people are there.
Yeah. Quietly.
So I'm thinking, is this, you can't imagine Jerry Bruckheimer and fucking Tom Cruise doing this, can you? You know what I mean?
Although they do.
They must. I think they do. I've learned a lot more since.
Yeah.
Was 70
Turns out
movies.
everyone does that.
But it was good fun. So we were up in London.
Sure.
I'm in a little bit of disguise because, like, they don't know who Guy or Matthew or Jason is at this point.
At that point, you are by far.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
Star. Yeah.
I'm the only one because of the football.
Yeah.
So I never forget. We crept into this one cinema in Leicester Square, and it's on. So we like get up on the last row, the first row, it's right at the back. We're getting, there's this big fella there, and he's got his feet up over the thing. He's got his girlfriend there. He's going, and he's laughing, and we're going.
You're counting the heads?
Yeah, I was fucking pretty full. It was brilliant. So then I thought, I can't leave this guy.
No,
I can't.
No, you can't.
So I just fucking was just about to go, and they went, come on, we'll go to the next one. Someone, which one? So I just tapped him on the shoulder. Big black fella. Like that, as he looked over his shoulder. So when I went, he's pretty good, Vinnie Jones, isn't he? He went, yeah, he's... and we ran. I never saw the guy. We fucking bolted out the door and left him with grabbing his missus, like going, what the...
That's a pretty great story for him. Yeah.
No one's going to believe the prat.
Nope.
Are they?
No, they...
Yeah, all right, yeah.
To this day, they don't believe
Vinnie Jones and Guy Ritchie tapped me on the shoulder while I was watching it. Yes.
Sure they did.
Have another joint, mate. But that, yeah, so that was the... And I of course, won the Best British Newcomer.
Of course.
And then...
Guy won.
And we won
Film
everything.
won.
Yeah, we won everything.
Yeah.
That's when they like you. But then when you're a bit more successful, like on Snatch, we got it a little bit.
Right.
In the ribs.
But Snatch, I think, obviously, more so is the birth of the film star, your pal Jason Statham. I mean, that movie separates him from the pack.
Yeah, Jay. Although I won Best British Actor that year.
Clearly.
And Jay, I thought should have had it because he played a great role.
He did okay.
He should have got that. But yeah, that sort of catapulted us really. And then I came over then. Jerry Bruckheimer asked me to be in Gone in 60 Seconds then.
Yeah. Well, that story I want to hear. Let me read this ad, these fine sponsors of ours, and then I want to hear, because I don't know how much of the Jerry Bruckheimer story you can tell that you told me at dinner, but it's fucking fantastic.
I can shorten it up.
Yeah, well, no. I would rather hear the whole thing. I just didn't know how much you're comfortable telling. Did the 17-hour turnaround, just the whole fucking... I'm gonna go to Los Angeles from London for an hour, honey. I'll be right back.
And I should be training.
Yeah. Oyster Books. A big shout out to our new sponsor, Oyster. I'm really excited about these particular cats. Think Netflix for books.
Good idea.
Right? Oyster is a beautifully designed subscription-based app that gives you access to read unlimited ebooks for only $9.95 a month. That's it, less than $10. You're reading as many books as you want every month. They've been featured on the Today Show, CNN, and named one of the best apps by TechCrunch last year. Oyster is creating a better way to read by providing instant access to 500,000 books at your fingertips. Their library includes titles from top publishers such as Simon & Schuster and HarperCollins, who I believe put out both of your books? Yeah. To the more independent publishers as well. They have everything from classics like The Hobbit, the New York Times bestseller, to Oprah's Picks. So head on over to oysterbooks.com/Kevin to get your first month free. That's oysterbooks.com/Kevin. Oyster, the world is yours for the reading.
Oh, I see what they did.
See what they did?
See, because when you said oyster, all I think of is Blue Oyster Bar, the gay bar from the Police Academy series.
Of course, that's what you were thinking. And Kenny was thinking Blue Oyster Cult. Yeah, and I was thinking they don't help sex. You're supposed to be training. You're in the last 2 years of a contract for the football team that you're
player coach.
Player coach. And where does this call come from? Again, into your football manager, or how does Jerry Bruckheimer reach you at home?
I was literally just going to bed, and turned the light out in the kitchen, just about to go out the kitchen, and we had a wall phone. It's 12 o'clock at night and it rings. So normally they're bad calls, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. Hello? Oh, hi, is that Vinnie Jones? Yeah. I have Jerry Bruckheimer for you. Now, I don't...
Had you heard his name before?
Never. I didn't have a fucking clue who Jerry Bruckheimer was.
Did you in fact say?
I wasn't a big movie guy, you know, Braveheart,
Right.
Rocky, Rambo, you know, that's about me limit.
Sure.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
But no, didn't. Okay. Hi, Jerry Bruckheimer. I'm producer in Los Angeles. I'm doing this. I'm doing this movie called Gone in 60 Seconds. It's about car thieves and
Nicolas
Cage and Angelina Jolie. I'm like, oh, good for you. And I'd sort of heard of Nicolas Cage a little bit.
I love that you said good for you, like he had just called to let you know that that's something.
Yeah. What's this fucking got to do with me? You know. So he said, would you be interested in having a meeting? And I was like, yeah, sure. He said, great, because we booked you on the 12 o'clock tomorrow. So this is basically 12 hours later, midday flight. We've booked you on the British Airways first class to meet me in Santa Monica. Now I'm in West London.
Right.
And I said, you know, you say, is it a wind up? You know, is this a fucking spoof?
Yeah. You having a...
So anyway,
You're having a laugh.
Yeah, you having a laugh. So anyway, no, it's all legit. We got you booked on and all that. So I'm like, okay, fine.
So the flight leaves London at noon.
No, but I don't forget, I'm player coach by this time for Queen's Park Rangers.
You're supposed to
Lock Stock had just come out.
Yeah. You're already getting enough shit in the locker room about being a movie star from Lock Stock.
Well, no, I'm a bit cool now in the locker room.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, Lock Stock now is everybody's favourite movie.
Okay.
I'm the king rat, aren't I? I can shit wherever I want in the dressing room, and no one gives a shit.
And I'm
know what I mean?
assuming you did, in fact, shit wherever you wanted to.
Yeah.
So, but you're supposed to report to work and not be on a plane at noon.
Yeah, so I got my wife to phone. I went to Heathrow.
Mm-hmm. You got the missus in on it?
Yeah, she had to say I weren't feeling well. Now normally the club doctor would come out.
Shoot you up a little B12 and get your ass to the locker room.
There you go. You've been a bit of a sportsman in your time, Kevin.
I saw the movie North Dallas 40. That gave us all the behind-the-scenes stuff we needed to know.
So that was it, yeah. So we've done a bit of skullduggery to try and make sure the fucking doc never came out, but the doc was brilliant. He was all for the players. George Crookshank, his name was. He was crooked as any fucking shank I ever met.
Sort of like Dr. Nick to Elvis Presley?
So I'm like, Doc.
Don't come.
VJ.
Yeah.
I won't be there. Just fucking sign me off.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I got on the flight at 12 o'clock, flew to fucking Los Angeles, got out, there's a geezer there with a... Because it's all new to me now.
Yeah, what was the last time prior to that you flew first class from London to Los Angeles?
For the Lock Stock premiere.
Okay.
They flew me, Stave, Guy Ritchie and thing. We had a big premiere here in Los Angeles. And I still remember coming in, looking out, seeing everything was fucking squared, you know, crisscrossed. It's like amazing.
The grid as you come in.
Yeah, the grids of all the streets, amazing. And so, yeah, so now this is on my own. I'm on my own, you know, I'm a little bit of a fucking lost sheep, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be, you know, Charlie Big Bollocks, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Here's a silly question. Before you get on that flight, I mean, yeah, there's a first-class ticket booked in your name, which is easy to confirm. Do you do any research as to who the fuck Jerry Bruckheimer is?
No.
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 Someone sent you a first-class ticket? Could have been anything.
I do that in life, Kev. I just fucking wing it, you know.
That's how we met in
I'm
New
like,
Orleans.
okay, you know,
Yeah.
I'm out fishing, which is important. You know, I'll look up what fish are catching at that certain time of the year, or if I'm playing golf, I'll look at the golf course and everything like that. I mean, I've done 80-something movies. I've probably read about 3 scripts. You were brilliant in our last one, though. I only read that bit. So, yeah, I mean, unless it's
You liked when I kept saying, I heard the script is good.
No, you're such a prick.
Shooting?
On this, yeah, on the movie, we're sitting there, Kev's doing his thing, Mr. Busy Bollocks with his texting and emailing. Yeah, I'm really busy, I've got a radio show. All right, Kev. And what do you think of the script? Yeah, your bit's great. Live it, live it.
All right, so you're on the jet. You're coming to America. Your second trip to Los Angeles. This time it's just you. You arrive. There's a car waiting for you.
Right, there's the man, which it's like now, you know, this is just to give your viewers a little bit of insight of being a fucking actor. Is, you know, when you come out, you've travelled 11 hours. You'd think the fucking guy who drives the car 10 miles down the road, he's got 10 miles to go, to stand there at Los Angeles with your name on a bit of fucking white paper. They're always fucking late. You're walking around, you've got TMZ up your ass, and you're walking around.
Yeah.
And he comes wandering, the geezer. His suit's too big for him.
Always an ill-fitted suit.
Oh, it looks like he's been at a funeral with somebody else's suit on. He's nicked the geezer's suit, who's just been buried, and now he's turned up in it. Always like, you're like, are you sure? And then he tries to cover it up by, oh, let me take your bags. Fuck off, I pull my own bag. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
That's always my, thanks.
Yeah.
That's always my panic that...
Okay, so far I've got you.
Yeah. So anyway, the geezer was there anyway.
About prosthetics, the castle's cold, and now the driver's always late in an ill-fitted suit. All right.
When you got TMZ now up your arse, it's embarrassing, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It is, yes, yes.
Oh, so
this one won't even go to baggage claim. She'll go all the way around and not.
So your car's not here yet, then. You know, where's your car? Yeah, it'll be here in a minute.
I get calls from back home like, "You look like hell," and I'm like, "Why is it the airport?"
TMZ caught us once flying back from New York, and she gets phone calls from home saying, "Why didn't you put makeup on?"
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
I just got off a 5-hour flight.
So the driver you eventually find.
He was there anyway, so we literally drive from LAX down to Santa Monica. We go in, which looks a bit like a Jerry Pagama's warehouse. His office is a sort of like all open plan, like sort of trendy warehouse, if you like, loft sort of looking, and like the stairs are like the metal stairs. Everything's like steel and glass and stuff. Then you go into his office, and he's got this massive long desk.
Yeah.
And the driver had told me, "Oh, you're going to meet the desk," because it's quite. Apparently, it's a big thing. Anyway, I go in, and Dominic Senna was there, who's the director, and Jerry, and I just, you know, go in. I don't know whether it's because I couldn't be intimidated. There was nothing for me to be intimidated about. Do you know what I mean? I didn't understand it. I was innocent.
Right.
You know, if I was going in to meet a football manager to sign a contract for another club, I might have been shitting me pants, which I have done. But I'm going to meet this guy who makes movies, so what? Yeah, what's your spill? You know, I've just travelled 11 hours. I'm a busy man. So anyway,
how did they go about explaining to you that the part is rather menacing and yet not a lot of dialogue? Did they mention that?
Yeah, it was the Sphinx, and they said, which are fucking fantastic for me. You know what I mean?
No.
Less dialogue, the better for me. Son.
Yeah. In fact, one sentence at the end, I think. Which became...
What was a monologue? I think that's a bit more than a sentence, Kev. And
yeah,
all through the movie for 6 months, everybody was going, "Oh, this is going to be so great. Can't wait for your stuff at the end." Which
a lot of pressure. And how difficult was it to memorize?
Well, first of all, we do the meeting, which is 20 minutes.
That's it? 11 hours to meet 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And he just wanted to make sure what?
No, he said, you know, meet the director, and then Jerry just said, "Well, you know, we love you for this part." And he just said to Dominic, "What do you think?" And he went, "Yeah, fantastic." I said, "Great, we'll be in touch." So I come out of the meeting. They put me up at the Four Seasons.
I'll say.
On Doheny. Go home the next day, and I'm thinking, I'm really going to get myself in the shit at the club, you know.
Back home at the football club.
Well, I'm going to miss another 2, maybe 3. So I missed like 3 days. So I said to the driver on the way to the Four Seasons, I said, "Would you be able to call and see if there's a flight back to LA?"
Back to London.
Back to London, sorry. So boom, yeah, bang. So went to LAX, and I actually got on the plane that I came over with and flew back that night.
So fuck the
I was on the ground for about 2 hours, something like that, actually on the ground. I was in the air 22 hours.
Right.
And then, yeah, happy days, normal day. Normal day in the life of a fucking soccer player.
And now there's a little bit.
But the funny thing was, I was at the airport and I called my wife, And I said, I fucking got it. And she's like, I mean, how do you react? I got 2.5 years of my contract just going in as a coach, player coach, and this, that, and the other. And then the most funniest thing, she said, well, how much are they going to pay you? I didn't ask. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it turns out there's a bit more involved for Jerry to get you released.
Yeah, we had to deal with the contract and get out of that 2.5 years and everything else. So I just thought, I spoke to the family, I said, do you know what? I can get back in football, no problem at all. I come over here for 6 months, do this movie.
Right.
Whatever happens, everyone's going to enjoy it. I mean, we went up, we rented Bill Withers' house.
Right. Who, as it turns out, is also the groundskeeper.
The groundskeeper, yeah, fucking looked out the window and we thought it was somebody fucking stealing the fucking cushions around the swimming pool. And it weren't, it was Bill Withers had brought us some and he said, I brought you a present. I ran out there, oh, what are you doing? He went, oh, I'm Bill. Anyway, he told us some fantastic stories about the house. He had Elvis up there, the Beach Boys, everybody was up at that house, up on the tennis court, all the parties. So anyway, yeah, we rented that, but I thought, if this is going to be it, I want everybody to have part of it. So even down to my housekeeper, my secretary, we flew them over. Anybody had a week or a weekend off, come over. I was just... Yeah. And we worked it out that we had 62 trips. 62 trips we had. That was family, friends, secretaries, gardeners, so 62.
62 round trips.
Round trips.
Yeah. Do the Guinness Book people know this? That seems like some kind of record.
But then while that was being done, Guy Ritchie then phoned me and said, I've written another script called Snatch.
If you're not going to be too busy in Hollywood, would you mind coming back home?
Yeah, don't forget your roots. I'm sorry, who are you? So yeah. Anyway, I was on a roll then because it was a ballsy thing to do to up my family.
Yeah, it was.
Come to Los Angeles, and really, you know, I had a career. It was basically jumping from one career to try, and you know, I actually the role I went on was Lock, Stock, Gone in 60 Seconds, Snatch, come back to do Swordfish. And then the fifth one was my first lead called The Mean Machine, which was a soccer version of The Longest Yard.
Right.
So I had quite a nice role, and I thought, this is fucking easy.
Well, you mentioned the negotiations before. In '89, when you left Wimbledon to join Leeds, you sat in on the negotiations and, in fact, represented yourself without an agent. So you're 24 years old.
Yeah.
You just won the FA Cup in '88, and you're sitting with the owner of the team with Leeds.
Yeah, which is like, you know.
And how do you represent yourself? By saying nothing and letting them sweat?
Well, they give you the spiel. They want you.
Yeah.
You know. So say I'm sitting in front of the owners and everything of the Lakers. They want me. That's the reason I'm there. Okay, what you got to offer? This, that, and the other. And I go, well, I think this might be nice. And I said, a nice BMW 325i with all the skirts, silver. And yeah. Because all I learnt was, while you're sitting this side and while they want you,
get a car.
All they want to do is say yes to you. Why should I give my agent at the time 10% for doing what I can do?
Fuck him.
As you say, I was 24. He went fucking nuts, the agent.
Sure.
I said, yeah, come around my house and I'll give you your 10%, you prick. He never showed up. We never spoke again.
How soon after they said yes to everything did you start to think, oh, fuck, I didn't ask for enough? Instantly? Because when I walk, you know when they go, yep. Right.
I go.
In that moment, you realize.
He fucking dived across the table at me and was like, I got you, you bastard. Yeah.
Well, that's.
Yeah, I know. I really fucked up.
Yeah, you did. You undersold yourself by just a little.
Big time.
Just a little.
Big time.
But you were 24, as it turns out.
But it was still massive money then.
Right.
I know. Yeah, I could have been on zillions, but to me at that time, I just thought, well, this is what I'm on now, and I know it wasn't a lot at Wimbledon. It was, no, in fact, we were the lowest payers in the whole Premier League. And I just thought, would I get away with it if I trebled it? Fuck it, I'm going to go for treble. You know, I didn't know I could have gone fucking 10 times or 20 times.
Right, of course.
But it was still fantastic.
Yeah, and you said BMW 3 Series, and he's thinking, fuck this.
At the time, that's like a Porsche now or a... You know. Right,
and he's thinking, I just avoided having to give him a Bentley. He was happy to give you the BMW.
It would be a Bentley now. So, you know, 325i, all skirts and everything. And the chairman and money man sort of looked at each other. Yeah, that'd be all right.
At 24, it's top of the world, Ma. We get questions from the audience. This one came from Twitter. Core from NL. What happened to the hard men, you son of a bitch? He was asking specifically about all the dramatics and the rolling around by players in today's World Cup. What the fuck is it all? Because when I watched the clips of you playing, the one time you got on the skirmish where you sort of met the guy and you barely tapped foreheads and he fell down like a little girl to make a thing out of it, which got you.
Which wasn't a done thing then. In my day, that
wasn't a done thing.
And I went fucking nuts about that. And he actually, about 6 months ago, admitted in the newspaper, he was doing a thing, admitted that I didn't touch him, the fucking prick.
Yeah.
But I'm watching it today, you know.
What do you make of it? Because we're all complaining about it.
Well, you know, I said when I was
don't know
playing,
anything.
There was a rule, they would just bring it in, but at that time when I was playing there was 3 foreigners. So which was bad enough, but then they sort of opened the gates, they was all coming in. And I said, I got in a lot of trouble, a lot of fucking trouble. Ruud Gullit, who was European Player of the Year, one of the best players in the world, I smashed him at Chelsea and got sent off. I went through him, boom, that's it. But what people don't know, I did go through him. He knew I was coming, he jumped out of the way. I then went home, the press come to my house, said, oh, what is that? I said, these foreigners, I said, you don't even have to touch them, they're squealing like pigs. You're not allowed to say that. And I said, well, I got hammered for it in the press for saying they squeal a bit. But I said to him, let me tell you this, if it's not stopped, this is the way football's going to go. Because to roll around as if you've really been stabbed or something like that, you know, it's just ridiculous. And then they get up and they're sort of acting because now they're embarrassed. They can't just run. But as soon as the camera comes up, and boom, they're running off.
Right.
I think the referee should go up to them and go, "Here's your yellow card." There should be more yellow cards. Because
for acting.
But football, you don't want the game to keep stopping.
No.
You want it to be flowing.
I think the players want it to stop so you can catch your breath. What are you guys running 16, 17
No,
miles?
they want it for advantage of the ball. You know, a free kick, you know, a dead ball position it's just cheating to me, Kev. It's cheating, it really is.
Yeah. But you did predict this is where the game was headed, and now that...
I predicted 2 things. One, this is where it would go with the foreign players. If you don't stamp it out now and make something, a strong penalty against it,
right,
they're going to be rolling over and laddering their tights. You know what I mean? They're screaming that they've got a hole in their fucking sock.
I don't know what laddering their tights means.
Well, you get a little hole in your sock. Ask the missus. And the other thing was, I said the England team will really suffer if you let all the foreign players take over the Premiership. And you can look it up on a computer. I said this 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
How can you have complete European players, no English players, and thinks we're all living in the 1966, Jeff Hurst? Them days have gone, my friend.
Yeah.
We ain't got many English players playing in our Premiership.
Right. It's supposed to be.
So how can the national team be any good?
Right.
You know. But anyway, that's another thing. That will cause a bit of bollocks, that comment. Anyway.
No, we appreciate you creating a viral video for us. We asked your fans to write in to the show to pose a series of 5 questions designed specific.
Did you get 5 fans first
specifically
of all?
for you? This one comes from Twitter at Christopher_H. And we call these 5 questions that will be asked in rapid fire a Tweet 5.
T5.
If only the fucking monitor worked so I could see it.
There you go.
There we go. There we are. Bounced up for a second. Okay. in quick succession, 5 questions designed for you. Ready? Villain or hero? Which do you prefer?
Hero.
Reality TV or scripted TV?
Scripted TV.
Correct. Leeds United or Sheffield United?
Leeds.
Statham Ritchie. There's a gun to your head on this one. Can't win.
Can't win, fuck off.
Yeah, but I think Jason Statham would kill him.
Yeah, exactly. 100 caps or Academy Award?
Academy Award now, I'm too old to get 100 caps.
That's it.
Unless I went to Gorins, I might be able to buy 100.
So you and Statham now are thick as thieves. You guys have been great buds since those early Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, I came over first with 60 Seconds, and then he came over and he lived with me at the house, up at Bill Withers' house. And
it's no longer Bill.
no, I think it's been demolished and rebuilt. I think.
Right.
But they should have thrown the house down next door. Did I tell you that story?
No.
The Pete Sampras story?
Well, a little bit, but please give us a version.
Well, it was funny because like every morning you'd wake up and all you hear was. Then we find out Pete Sampras lives next door and he's a fucking tennis player.
Well, not just a tennis player.
He was then.
Really? He wasn't the best in the world?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say he's a fucking actor as well.
Uh-huh.
But that's all we had all day. So anyway, it was like, you got to turn it in, Pete, you know what I mean? So anyway, he was getting married.
Yeah, he was. Huge wedding.
Huge wedding in the house next door.
Yeah, the paparazzi, helicopters, everything.
Yeah, so we're up, me and Statham were up on our tennis court, because you had to go up to it. And we're literally firing tennis balls. That's how low these helicopters was. Go on, fuck off.
You were firing tennis balls at the helicopter.
Yeah.
You and Statham. Uh-huh.
And they're putting all the marquee and everything up at Pete's house next door.
Sure. And you're waiting for your invitation, which you know is coming.
Well, I mean, we're sitting round that week, sitting outside, and well, what's going to happen, this, that, and the other? And I said, well, his wife came to see me at the Four Seasons, you know, when you do the junkets. I was in like this doing a junket, and she came and said, oh, Vinnie, we're your neighbours, this, that, and the other. So I'm telling everybody who wants to listen at my little barbecue, of course we're going to be invited. And then there was an altercation where I was going somewhere, the limo come to my house to pick me up. I was waiting and waiting. Pete had gone down Benedict Canyon, got to the bottom. They found out that Pete Sampras was in my limo, so they had to turn around. He had to bring the limo back. He got out and I got in the limo and went, so I said, yeah, we're good pals. And then my old mate, my real old mate, who is honestly my mate, Elton John, is playing live. Now the only thing between me, Statham, his girlfriend at the time, and my wife, is this little hedge. Just a small little bushy hedge. About this thick.
And your pal Elton John's playing in the backyard.
And Elton's there, so I'm saying to Stave, don't you worry, we're sorted, don't worry, this goes on all week. I come home from golf, go to the letterbox, boom, there's the little. So I come running, then they're sitting at the table outside by the port. I go,
guess what I got?
I'm on. Opened it up. It was something from a movie, honestly. So Stave's gone, go on then.
Fucking read it, will you?
And it says,
Dear Vinnie, as you know, we're getting married on Saturday. Could you please turn your sprinklers off at 3 o'clock? You fucking sprinklers off so they wouldn't get wet in the fucking wedding. That was my invitation. So, and obviously I had to get hammered for that from Statham. And then, so we sat there while this night we sat there. The hedge is there. We're here.
Sure.
Elton John's there. Pete's there. They've got married. And I'm saying to Statham, we'll have a few beers here, this, that, and the other, and then I'll just get all the security, that big old security team there and all that. I said, I'll tell one of them, tell Elton, Vinnie's here, boom, bang, we're in. Boomerang.
you rent tuxes.
So anyway, a couple of beers later, got through the big geezers there in the suit. Oi! Oi! I said, do me a favour, mate. It was maybe a few more beers than what I can remember. Statham's going, go on. I went, oi. No, I'm not fucking about. Tell Elton, Vinnie and Statham are next door. Send one of the boys around to bring us. Oh, we never got in.
No, you didn't.
No response.
None.
Got the old custard pie. So that was our non-invitational to.
Let me guess. A few minutes before 3, Jason was saying, "Are you sure you got the sprinklers off?"
he did that. I said, "Fuck the sprinklers, leave them." But we did turn them off. Yeah. We did, yeah. So that was these are all funny fucking Hollywood fucking shit. Really.
Well, let's allow you to speak directly to the audience about the importance, as you discovered a few years ago, of being tested for skin cancer. I think this is an important thing that you can share.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Hugh Jackman goes on Letterman and talks about it, and it made a difference. But I read that you and the missus both got tested,
well, mine got found because I was taking her.
Right.
Because she gets skin cancer from the medication she has to take. So I'm in there with her after a 7th, 8th time, this, that, and the other. And then the doc goes, have you had this? Look, boom, well, biopsy that, melanoma. So, what does that mean? And then you shit yourself, you get on the, the computer. You
don't want to look on the computer for answers.
No, well, you do, you get scared. And it was funny, but how it came out, I went to a charity golf day at Lakeside, and it was for, melanoma awareness and this, that, and the other, which again, I hadn't read the fucking invitation, didn't know what the fuck it was for. So when I get there and said, oh, this, that, and I go, yeah, well, I just had some skin cancer, melanoma, and it's this, that, and the other. Next thing, bang, it all blows up. It's in the paper that, I can't even go out of my house anymore, right. And if I see the sunlight, I'm gonna fucking melt like jelly and all this shit. But what I'm trying to say to everybody is, same as Hugh Jackman is, especially for guys, go and get yourself checked. It's not, it's not like you got fucking syphilis or something, you've got something you can't control. And if it's taken care of, it's like, the cancer on your nuts, on your balls. It's the same thing. Go and get it sorted out, get checked out. They can deal with it. Happy days. Play golf a lot longer.
Yes.
I just got to spray up now. But no, I had it cut out a couple of places, and literally, you can't even see it. Look, where they stitch it, they take it out, go in, cut it out, bang, and then they just keep an eye on it. And at the moment, I started every 2 weeks, and now I'm every 2 months. I go in and any little funny little thing, little discoloration, a little bump or anything, they just do a little biopsy. About an hour later, you sit there, about an hour later, they come in and say, yeah, it's got to come out. They cut it out, they stitch you up. Done.
It's easy to do.
But if you don't,
right,
it's, then you're going to get problems.
Then it's lethal.
And I think that's why Hugh has come out and said it, I mean, there's nothing to be, to shy away from. I mean, it's something that, as men, we got to say to other lads, don't dig your head in the sand, don't do the ostrich bit, just go and get checked up.
Right. How much of the illusion left and remains from the hard men, and also a lot of the roles in the movies in terms of you're just a badass. So when the public wants a piece of you, when they want to say hello or shake your hand or get a picture or get an autograph, there's got to be some smartass out there that wants to fight.
Yeah, I mean, I've been all through that. I mean, it's, but it's always alcohol related.
Always.
On both sides.
Sure.
It's not all one way, obviously, but whatever problems I've had, bar fights and all that, it's always been that person's got brave with the alcohol, and I've retaliated because of alcohol. That's probably what it is,
Yeah.
I don't like I was in Mel's Diner having a meeting this morning, and I don't get people coming up to me and saying, "Yeah, you prick," you know, or pushing past you and all that. It's
not during breakfast.
Not in LA, anyway. London it might be, but not in LA. But no, it's honestly, Kev, it's nearly all my trouble has been alcohol related.
Right.
I would say. Vice versa or versa versa.
Which is why you're done with it?
I'm done with it. Yeah, I'm getting on for 2 years without a drink, alcoholic drink now, and life's a little bit easier.
It's easier
and cheaper to live. Jesus, and that's only for the lawyers. That ain't how much I drunk.
Yeah.
It's the fucking lawyers.
But you won't be on my next flight on Virgin Atlantic, according to the research.
I won't. You fucking busy bastard. That was alcohol related. Yeah, I got banned for life off Virgin.
For life. But you got to wear that as somewhat of a badge of honor, regardless of how stupid it may have been at the time or thereafter. To be banned for life from an airline is kind of cool. It's kind of sexy.
It is a bit.
A little bit.
And you know what makes it even cooler?
There's other airlines you can fly?
Not at the time, fuck. No,
Yeah.
I had to sign every time I got on a plane, I had to sign a $500,000 waiver to get on the fucking plane.
Oh, that must have been fun. Insurance?
Yeah. But no, what's funny about that is there's always a funny side when you get through.
Yeah. Out the other end.
We get through the hedge, unless it's Pete Sampras's hedge. It's the only fucking hedge I've never got through. But even when you get through,
right,
the court case and everything else, there's always something to laugh about. And there was a charity do here in LA about 3 years ago, and I was Richard Branson was there, and he was giving money for the Australian fires, and we were playing football for it. Anthony LaPaglia was doing it, and I went, Rich, come on.
Did he know?
Yeah. Because it's the unions.
Right.
It's the unions. He says, it's not me, it's the union.
You got to blame somebody else. Is this the Hollywood football team you put together you're talking about?
Hollywood All-Stars.
That's still
Hollywood
going?
All-Stars, yeah.
And my old pal LaPaglia is still on?
Anthony had a team called Hollywood United, which I played for.
And
back
then you
in the
started
day.
your own team, and then you pounded Hollywood United.
And then we did in the end, yeah. And then, Pags was running that, and then he wanted me to run it, and what had happened was when people like 1998, 7, something like that, you had all the English rock bands and what do they all do? They all play fucking soccer.
Right.
So we used to go on like a bit of grass in Beverly Hills and literally hole in the fence, and at 3 o'clock every Sunday, unbelievable used to turn up. You know, like the biggest stars on the planet. And we used to play football for a couple of hours, and then there was a Santa Monica, there was a little league started up, so we went in there as Hollywood United. Then we started doing charity events.
Right.
As I say, some big, some big stars, music world actors, and everybody then came over, would get in contact and say, oh, I'm here for 3 months doing a movie, I want to play football. Then that got a bit old in about 2006, 2007. The lads, Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, all that.
He's been here.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonesy was getting a bit older and that era was coming to a grinding halt. I'd stopped playing, I was coaching a little bit, and then Anthony came in and I said, I'm going to start my own team, and he was like, well, run this for me. But I felt it was too old in the tooth, Hollywood United, do you know what I mean? So I started Hollywood All-Stars, and we sort of took the legacy on again.
Right. And still at it?
Still at it at the moment, but I think it's
winding
down. I mean, I can't be, I'm going to be overseas quite a bit doing Gallivant, and if you're not there keeping your eye on things, it's difficult.
10 episodes you're going to shoot?
10, yeah.
Oh, that will take the better part of the year, if not.
Well, this time round, I'm going end of July to mid-October, and then if it does great, because there's a great buzz around Hollywood about it, because it's different.
Yeah.
It's so different, and everybody that you talk to has heard of it. And it's the same thing, what I said about Lock, Stock. A few critics, even on Gallivant, have jumped on and, oh, fuck, really? Don't even go there with this shit. Now, this was before the trailer came out. Now people have seen the trailer, it's completely doing a 360, and people going, oh, this don't look too bad. This is a bit different. Right. You know what I mean? So,
even if
I have seen that happening, but they're saying if that happens, we'll go back in March if the show does well.
Right.
You know, and it's all, you know, it's Disney, and it's same people done, you know, it's ABC. So, you know, all the Modern Family people and all that sort of family, you know what I mean?
I'm excited as hell. I mean, I've seen the 3-minute and...
Well, as you know, we had a conversation, and there's not many more people in Hollywood I can beat up, so I want to have a laugh with them. So, you know, Gallivant's comedy, the one we did, Mind Puppets comedy, Adam Sandler has just asked me to do his new movie, Pixels. So...
And then there's my directorial debut.
Good luck with that, Kev. Good luck with that. I think I'm playing golf that day. It must be...
Santiago was threatening to come here today, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to ring him. Oh my! Oh no! I swear to God, the guy we're talking about
funded the movie. Yeah,
he's funding Kev's movie, funding my movie that I'm producing, and he said, "Oh, I'll come down and I'll have some laughs with you and Kev." No, sorry, Santa, you won't. I forgot to fucking call him at 1 o'clock.
Before you go, there's a lot of people watching and want to know about anything you can tell us at all about your experience with X-Men, and also Jamie needs to hear about Harold Ramis.
Well, because he was in Harold Ramis's last movie, Year One.
He was awesome, Harold Ramis. He was one of the coolest dudes I've worked with. He liked his little pufferoonie and his guitar, and we were down in Mexico or somewhere like that, and yeah, he just had a smile, you know. He just had a smile all the time.
He had a smile that could warm up the entire world.
It could. It really could.
and I didn't realise, same sort of thing really. I mean, my thing, I could name you any footballer on the planet, you know, when I was a kid and playing football, but actors and musicians I'm not the best at. And people, when they say Harold Ramis, he's a legend, you know, and then you go, oh, I'm working with him, people flip out.
Yeah.
And now I'm just with Harold as just a good old boy, you know what I mean? And, you know, and then you look and you go, one of my favourite movies of all time is Caddyshack.
Well, you're a golfer.
You know, and yeah, but I was watching that years and years ago. Yeah. And, you know, he was the guy behind that, and then you go,
co-wrote with our neighbor.
It co-wrote it with Brian Doyle-Murray
and he directed it, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, once you see, you know, the legacy and that, and you go, yeah, wow. You know, it's like with me now, when people say, oh, you won the FA Cup, I'm like, yeah, so, you know, fucking someone else will win it next year, you know what I mean? It's sort of gone, but when you look, I look back and I did just work with Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And had a great time.
And the thing about it is, I'm always afraid, if you like, of meeting people who I fucking love.
Because they're going to disappoint? Always.
And a couple have. Harold didn't. Stallone was fantastic. You know, I was really. You know, I mean, the Rocky movies probably a big influence on my life was when I was playing. You know, when I was a kid. So to meet Sly for the first time I met him was for the Rambo movie, but you know, and then actually filming. My wife said the other day, "You realise you done a fight scene, and you know, took like 2 days to do this fight scene with Rocky." Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like 22, 23, and he was like a god to me. And now I am. Here we are saying, you know, Sly's going, would you like this, that, and the other? And you know, he's 60 saying now, and I'm telling you, honestly, to all your viewers, there ain't no stuntman with Sly. He's there and he's rolling around, he's doing them fights, he's taking them hits. You know, and he, as I say, that would have been a massive disappointment to me, you know.
Right.
But there are a couple of people that I've met that are just dicks, that I've just crossed off the hero list, you know.
Yeah.
So it is anticipation sometimes of meeting someone, and it just goes,
yeah.
You know.
Anything from X-Men you can share?
X-Men was, yeah, I mean, it was tough. X-Men was, well, it started off, it was like 6 or 7 hours in makeup because I had to have all that gear on, all the body gear and everything.
Again, we know not your favorite to be sitting and waiting for the prosthetic.
No, but I mean, they'd pick me up at 2:30 in the morning to be on set at 8 o'clock. And then normally about 5, 6 o'clock that night, I was still sitting in the fucking trailer like this, waiting to be called on set. Yeah, it was just brutal. And the worst thing about that was, and I am really upset about that movie, really fucking upset, and I'm a little bit bitter, to be honest. And that's not me. I don't sort of hold a grudge, but Matthew Vaughn was supposed to direct that movie, and Juggernaut had a good role. All the dialogue, everything, he was part of the story, and then he fucking turned into an extra. My stunt guy on that was an English guy, and we filmed up in Vancouver. He fucking earned more money than me because they just had him in it. Oh, we won't have Vinnie stood in the background, they will have him. So, I mean, I came in, I'd done a couple of action shots, it was a fucking joke. You know, I actually went to them, and they come to me 2 occasions, the producers. We've got it all going. We've got the writers. They've wrote all this stuff. It's going to be fucking brilliant. Never happened. And I said, look, because the other thing was, which I fucking luckily I did. They had the helmet, and you know, the helmet took fucking 3 months to. Oh, can't just have this, can't have that. You know, you got people flying private jets to check the fucking helmet and my wristband's out, you know.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, first scene, right, Vinnie walks up and then it's me and Hugh Jackman run at each other. So I thought, I'm not going to spend this fucking movie with this helmet over my head. And just in case they cut all this dialogue out that I got, because I had a good fucking part in it when Matthew Vaughn was in charge. So as I go, roll sound, yeah, and as I did that I went, action! And I come walking in the fucking scene with no, they wanted me to have the helmet on all through the movie. Go fuck yourself.
They were yelling action and you were taking off the helmet.
Just as they'd done action, I went, and I come walking in the first scene, and then I put it in when I'm going to charge it.
And did the director have the stones to say, don't do that?
They don't notice. They're watching fucking Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry. They ain't fucking watching me. They ain't got a clue. But I am bitter about that because I've took quite a bit of stick about that, and no fault of my own.
Right.
You know, that I can show you the fucking script that I had.
Yeah.
Good dialogue, fucking good stuff in there, and they were even talking, you know, the next one's going to be about the Juggernaut and this, that and the other, so I'm like, well, hey, I signed for 3. I didn't just sign for that one, I signed for 3 fucking X-Men.
Right.
But then it became, you know, it's a bitter pill, really, because the dialogue never came, just became an extra, really.
Well, I think moments like that or experiences like that are going to help you to appreciate the other ones that were so fucking great. Quite frankly.
Well, you know what, I do a lot of independent movies.
Yeah.
For that fucking reason.
Right.
You know, I mean, you're there, you go on, you're the sort of star, or you get looked after, and they don't fuck around with you. They get you for 3 days instead of 20 days.
Right.
They use you for them 3 days, you know what I mean? It's not, you know, I'm not trying to be a prima donna, but you know, they'd rather you sit there in your hotel or in your trailer for 20 days when you've got 3 days filming, you know, but now, you know, I can go in there and say, look, we can give you 3 days.
Right.
And you go in and work 3 days.
Right.
And then I fight for the trailer, and then my co-stars get decent trailers, and everyone's fucking happy with me.
Don't tell anyone else about the trailers you and I got. Don't tell Pippa. I can't thank you enough, man, for spending some of your Sunday with us. I know the family's not happy about it. They're anxious to get you back to the compound. But we are very grateful that you could come by and spend some time with us, man. The names of the books are?
Well, the one that come out at Christmas is It's Been Emotional.
It's Been Emotional, which is, of course, the monologue you have at the end of the...
Of Lock, Stock, yeah. And that's sort of what happened. The first book led up to basically the premiere at Gone in 60 Seconds, so it's all football really and my life and
right.
the scrapes with the law and getting married and all that. And then so this is basically, we put some of that in it, but now basically it's from the stories I've told you today onwards, really.
Yeah.
You know.
People should get that wherever you can find books, please. And Gallivant is the name of the TV show?
Gallivant is January, 8
ABC.
o'clock, ABC.
What night of the week, do you know?
Sunday nights.
Sunday nights at 8. Very excited for that. Unbelievably excited for that.
Yeah, that might be, you know, because you always hear that actors come over and, oh, I reckon he's a big star, but I've heard some stories, a lot of stories, you know, of actors that are basically, I know one massive actor here, big A-list actor, who basically brought his ticket, he was going back home, and got the fucking call the day before.
Yeah.
And now he's a massive A-list actor, and he went, fuck it, he'd been here like 8 years, it never worked out for him, he'd done bits and bobs. This is survival of the fucking fittest and the hard working, this place, you know, there ain't many that can step off the plane and boomerang it happens.
And also maintain it.
Maintain it's the hardest.
It's the ebb and flow, and it is a marathon, it's not a sprint, and the truth of the matter is, you got to get lucky along the way. You can't just keep working.
Well, I think if you get lucky, then it's down to you to work hard, and you know, I always say the harder I work, the luckier I get.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And it's very true. Yeah, we all do have breaks in life, good breaks, bad breaks. But when you get the good breaks, then it's up to you to work your arse off.
Is that a Vinnie Jones original? The harder I work, the luckier I get?
The harder I work, the luckier I get.
I think that's the title of book number 3.
I ain't doing no more fucking books. So is my album, no more albums.
Yeah, I didn't mention that. I purposely chose not to mention your singing.
Well, I've got a singing Gallivant, and that was my, I sent them the demo reel.
And they said, we'll hire you anyways?
They said, that was shit, we'll make an exception.
Thanks, man.
Pleasure.
Thanks very much. Kenny, do I have some closing Kevin Pollak's Chat Show survey? Listen, help Kevin Pollak's Chat Show stay free to download by completing this short anonymous survey. It will take no more than 5 minutes, I promise. If it's been your design to support this show, now's your chance. All your answers will help match our show with advertisers that best fit the sensibilities of our podcast and listeners like yourself. Those who complete the survey will be entered in an ongoing monthly raffle, to win $100 Amazon gift card. Who the fuck can ask for more than that?
Who wants that anyway?
We promise not.
I'll give you $100 not to go in the fucking competition, and it will save everybody a lot of time and grief. Won't it?
All right, so you can fill this out or just call us to reach Vinny to get your $100.
Yeah.
We promise not to share or sell your email.
Get me on the Hollywood tour bus and you'll get water bombed.
Please go to podsurvey.com/Pollak. That's podsurvey.com/Pollak and take our survey to get a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. Thank you, sir, very much.
It's been
all right. Sammy, Sammy, we miss you. We're wrapping up. Don't move. Jamie, thanks, as always. Kenny, out there running things. We got Josh and Jason and Samantha Ward back on makeup, and David Mandel, the greatest intern in the history of the world. Danielle Overland, of course, the media maven. And those of you wondering, yes, our guest today did get a pass on the Larry King game. My choice. Fuck off. Next week is up in the air. I may or may not be playing in the World Series of Poker main event. Follow me on Twitter at Kevin Pollak or our guest at Vinnie Jones. And I'll give you some updates on whether there'll be a show next Sunday, July 6th.
Why don't we film a game of poker?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Your house or mine? Your place. Much better.
Every other Saturday at mine. Why don't we do it here in the studio?
Oh, okay. Get the rest of your mates and we'll set that up. We're happy to do it. We've got 5 cameras. And on the 13th, Will Forte. The great Will Forte will be here. And Jake Kasdan, I think, is the Sunday after that, filmmaker. The movie coming out is Sex Tape with Jason
Segel.
And
Cameron Diaz. I enjoyed. Did he also do Bad Teacher?
Yes.
I enjoyed that film.
Yeah, I believe he's
I just got an email.
Did you?
What a great fucking show. Never seen it. Great red shirt.
Who's that from?
Rental
That's
person, some rental person, somebody renting this house.
Oh, there's no better way to sign off than that. Until next time, we've got an instant review. Until next time, and as always, get out of my fucking face.